guys, look at it. And he's like,
I was getting ready. Now I'm recording.
fucking bitch.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode, this time of What Do the Gays Think, as opposed to What Do the Two Gays and Two Straights Think, because we had two straights on the last episode of our podcast, Nasty. And I actually think chronologically this one's going to come out first, and then the one where we had the two straights on will come out next. So sorry for the confusion for our listeners. But anyway, this is What Do the Gays Think. Hello?
It's a time loop episode? Like
Yeah.
Time play episode?
Yeah, this is we're playing with time a little bit in terms of, when we're releasing these episodes. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm Matt Klubeck. Welcome. Today with me, I have, my maid, Pat. How you doing, Pat?
Your floors are as clean as my asshole.
What?
I made sure to give it spit shine.
Wow, amazing.
I am Bertha, your Russian maid service. That will be $24.99.
And also, I have with me my gatekeeper, Jackie. Hello, Jackie.
Gatekeeper!
Gatekeeper, girl bosser, gaslighter.
Go bosser, gaslighter, everything.
LLC. Yeah, I am the sole proprietor. Hi everybody.
Sole proprietor of gatekeeping.
We're so happy to have you back on the podcast, Jackie. I love these episodes where you're on. I feel like there's just complete chaos every time.
I was gonna say, I feel like some kind of sarcastic comment was coming, and there's the backhanded compliment.
It's not what? I love the chaos. That's not a backhanded compliment.
Oh, okay.
That is a straight up compliment. That's not no back.
I'm a huge proponent of the chaos theory. Yeah.
I love chaos.
Yeah.
Chaos is my middle name,
Matthew Chaos Klubeck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matthew Irving Chaos
God-given
Klubeck.
Christian name. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nick.
That's actually my Christian name is Chaos, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
My Christian name is Patrick.
Wow.
So you're Patrick Fardella?
Patrick Arthur Patrick Fardella, yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what was that?
Patrick Arthur Patrick Fardella. I think the confirmation name goes after the middle name, or is it before the middle name?
I don't know,
actually.
You were.
I don't know. I mean, I just picked that, honestly, because I wanted to fuck with them, because they were like, really, Patrick? And I was like, yeah, Patrick.
I thought you were doing a bit, but that's your confirmation.
That's my actual confirmation name, yeah.
Oh,
I researched St. Patrick, because I was like, fuck it.
Yeah,
it's easy. It's my name. I know how to write it.
Yeah.
Bitch.
We love to see it.
Although I don't want to talk about religion this episode. In this episode, we are doing another 2020. This is the 2021 video game roundup. The sequel to the one that we did last year, where we did the 2020 roundup.
And you believe it's been a year.
I know.
We've been doing podcasts for over a year.
I know. I can't believe it.
And in 3 more years, we'll have 20 listeners. At this rate.
At the rate that we're growing, yeah, which is at a pace of 0. But yes, if you haven't listened to our 2020 video game roundup, go ahead and listen to that one. We do a very similar thing where we just talk about video games that have released during the year and how we feel about them. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing that I did last year. I went through Metacritic and I looked at the top performing games by Metacritic score. And I also looked at some Steam stats, like what were the most, the top selling games and what were the most played games in 2021 via Steam. I'm going to be focusing in more on the games that at least one of us has played, one of the 3 of us here, so that we're not talking about games that none of us have obviously ever played. So yeah, I'm just going to go right into it. I figured I would throw this one in because I did the same thing last year where I talk about the number 1 game that was on Metacritic, regardless if any of us have played it. The top 1 game for 2021 was Disco Elysium, or Elysium? Elysium.
I think it's Elysium.
Elysium. The Final Cut. Has anyone ever heard of this game?
No. Is this like a beat game? I'm a DJ, spin that shit?
No, it's actually a mystery kind of detective game.
Oh. Well,
So I'll give you the I'll give you the description. It's rated 97 on Metacritic, so it's like the best one for this year. The description that I found was Disco Elysium: The Final Cut is the definitive edition of the smash hit RPG. Pursue your political dreams in new quests, meet and question more of the city's locals, and explore a whole extra area. You're a detective with a unique skill system at your disposal and a whole city block to carve your path across. Interrogate unforgettable characters, crack murders, and take bribes. Or take bribes.
I'm a politician, baby.
Right.
Basically, it's very like, it seems like you can kind of choose your own adventure kind of thing, where you can choose to be like kind of like a dastardly person where you take bribes and, you know, do shady shit. Or you could just be like a really like down to earth detective where you do heroic shit. I watched the trailer. It looks interesting. I don't know if I'd ever play it, but if anyone likes kind of like mystery games, I think this could be interesting.
The art style looks really interesting for that. I was just kind of looking through it.
Yeah, I personally like mystery games, but more of the visual novel types.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I would feel about like the top-down kind of style that this one offers, but who knows? I'm just throwing it out there.
Who knows? Awesome.
Work.
All right. Now, I think the rest of the games that I have on the list, at least one of us have played. So I'm hoping that we can give some nice opinions on it. Life is Strange: True Colors.
I wish you told me I would be up first. I love Life is Strange: True Colors.
Oh, amazing. So I'll just say it was rated 84 on Metacritic. The description is Alex Chen has long suppressed her curse, the supernatural ability to experience, absorb, and manipulate the strong emotions of others, which she sees as a blazing colored auras. When her brother dies in a so-called accident, Alex must embrace her volatile power to find the truth and uncover the dark secrets buried by a small town. Jackie, you played some of this game. How do you feel about it?
I love this game. So I played the first Life is Strange game, and there's been a couple entries afterwards. I haven't played those, but overall, I really enjoyed the Life is Strange franchise, the little universe that they've created, and I think that this entry is a true successor and or step forward for the Life is Strange universe. I really enjoyed the story so far. I think I'm maybe a little bit more than halfway or just over halfway in the game where I am now. And I've really enjoyed the ability, which is different from the first game. And there's so much rich content and beautiful characters to explore and create bonds with. And I think they do that a lot better than actually what they did in the first game. Or a little bit better than what they did in the first game. And I really recommend it if you're a fan of a solid storyline, female characters, and an emotionally driven story.
Amazing.
Work.
I just liked all the memes that came out of it on TikTok.
I did not. Oh, I did see. I saw some of those, but I tried not to see any because I was afraid of spoilies.
Oh, spoilies. Yeah, it was the one meme that's like and there's a lot of different variations of it, but it's when you try to enter a certain area that's closed off to you at the moment, and your character is like, "Oh, I better take a shit first," or something like that.
Yes, I better do anything else.
Oh, is that related to Life is Strange? I just thought that was like a generic like video game one.
They use the Life is Strange music because that's kind of what they do in Life is Strange a little bit.
Great soundtrack.
Okay, yeah, I saw one that was, of course, gay. It was like, I don't know, like better jack off first. I don't know, it was some dumb shit like that. It wasn't funny. It wasn't funny, but there are other funny ones. Yeah, but that wasn't one of them.
Better jack off first.
Listen, no one said it was good
Iconic
content.
Quote.
I mean, I think that's good content.
I think it's pretty good content too. I still don't know. There's the romance option in this game like there is in the first Life is Strange game. I don't know who I'm gonna pick. There's two choices. There's a female option and a male option. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I don't know who I will pick.
Oh yeah, I think I was in your stream and I was like, pick the gay option.
Yes, I know. I feel like I probably will pursue that, but I really enjoyed how the male character was written, and I think that is a cool thing to celebrate and have in a game, because I feel like we often have very flat choices. I actually feel like the gay option is the flatter option in this choice a little bit, which I feel like is a hot take, but I also feel like that could be due to the voice acting of the female lead. I am not as much of a fan of her voice acting.
Okay.
Wow.
I know. Hot take.
Drag her.
I know.
And I oop. I'll move on to the next game, though. Unless you had any parting thoughts on Life is Strange, Jackie.
Nope, I recommend it. Go ahead and play it if you like storylines.
Great, and Jackie sometimes plays that on their stream, so if you don't follow Jackie's Twitch stream, that is Jackie_the_bananas. The link is in the description of the podcast episode and also the YouTube video, so go ahead and check out their stream.
Oh my
Thanks
god.
Oh my god.
See it.
Resident Evil Village. For the PC, PS4, and 5, and Xbox, released on May 7th, 2021, rated 84 on Metacritic. The description for this game: years after the tragic events of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, Ethan Winters has started over with his wife Mia, finally living in peace and putting the past behind them. However, Chris Redfield, the legendary hero from previous Resident Evil games, suddenly disrupts their life, throwing a devastated Ethan into a new and twisted nightmare in search of answers. I think both me and Pat have played this game. I haven't finished it, but I think, Pat, you finished it, right?
I did.
Yes, like I said, I didn't play this all the way through because I've been playing it with Troy, and Troy's and I schedule don't tend to match up very well, so it's kind of hard to play all the way through the game. But I think I made it to like the factory-ish level. I think is where I left off. But I also enjoyed Resident Evil 7 very much. Just comparing what I've played in Resident Evil 8 to what I've played in Resident Evil 7, I think I kind of liked Resident Evil 7 a little bit better. What about you, Pat?
I think they're just very different. Resident Evil 7's giving you that claustrophobic, intimate horror. It's giving you podunk, inbred, hills have eyes horror, whereas Resident Evil Village is giving you like sort of like medieval fantasy horror kind of. Lady Dimitrescu's,
Mommy.
Ethan Winters.
Mommy D. Gotta love
Mommy D with those coconuts. I mean, honestly, why hasn't anyone put coconuts to Lady D like walking around?
Oh, they should.
Oh my god.
Because there's a line in the song that's basically just like, I see them in your face, like here are the double D's, and it could just be Lady D. Anyway, it's a really fun game. The combat's definitely faster. There's way more diversity in enemy types. I think it's beyond how different it is in terms of like the game structure and some of the mechanics and the actual style. The plot of Ethan Winters is nice, like how it connects to the first game and where it ends up. So, and the ending teases a potential future, so that's exciting.
Well, don't spoil the ending for me because I haven't finished
I didn't.
it yet.
I just said it. Please, everything has a teaser at the end of it these days.
Oh my goodness, Jackie, you should stream Resident Evil 7 on your Twitch.
I think you
should.
I don't think that would go over well for my emotional or mental well-being.
I think. Well, how are you with like scary games, i.e., Phasma Phobia?
I have not played actually a true horror-driven game in a long time. I think the last one I attempted was Doom, and that one was a little bit too scary.
It's a little
I
rough.
love Doom. I love Doom.
I think we talked about Doom in our last video game roundup for 2020.
Yeah.
Because I lived, laughed, loved it.
Yeah.
We did talk about this game on the podcast though, Resident Evil 8. Like a couple, not a couple episodes back, probably like 10 or so episodes back. We talked about
several now, yeah.
Yeah, and I think we both agreed that we loved it. Amazing.
I loved it. I did.
I lived, laughed, and loved it. Knockout City. For the PC, PS4, and 5, the Switch, and the Xbox, released May 21st, 2021. It has an 83 on Metacritic. The description is, rule the city through lightning-fast multiplayer matches featuring mind-blowing dodgeball mechanics. Increase your attack by passing to power-up dodgeballs, targeting your opponents with a variety of specialized balls, or balling up at any time to get thrown by teammates.
Ball up.
Ball up.
We all played this game. And I'll give my opinion on it. I say it was fun. when we played it, and I would like to play it more. I just felt like it was one of those games where you had to practice at it to be good at it, and like you had to play it consistently in order to be good at it.
Yeah, like most things.
Well, no, because like certain things are like riding a bike, right? You do it and you're like, okay, I understand the mechanics of this, and like I could do it repeatedly, even if I take a break for a while, then I can come back to it.
For riding a bike, you did have to practice.
No, for riding a bike, I just did it. I was like, hello.
Yep.
Oh, the privilege just oozing out of all of his pores. I could just get on. I didn't even need train wheels. Like I just got on a bike.
I just got on.
I don't know what the big deal is. What's the big deal? It's so hard for these people.
2 wheels.
Oh my God. Balance. I have it.
But no, it kind of like Valorant does in a little bit, a little ways where you have to practice, and if you want to succeed in that game, you got to play it consistently. Which I feel like Knockout City might be one of those games where you'd have to play it consistently in order to be, in order to be good at it. What do you guys think of this game?
I liked it. I mean, it's fun. I didn't play it as much as you two did. I think you guys played a little more than me, but I think it was definitely fun. I'm not good at it. I'll say that right now. I'm not good at it. Most games I'm not good at. But I think it was fun. I liked it. Jackie?
I enjoyed it as well. I thought the mechanics were pretty fun to play. I will say the UI and the menu design was really not my favorite part. I think that was a kind of a weak spot for the game, and could be a lot improved. I haven't played it in a while. Maybe they've updated it. But I will say I did enjoy us playing it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I would like to play more of it. The quick matches were a lot of fun. I liked the different ball types that they had, and I thought it was a fun gameplay element that you could ball up your teammate and use them as a dodgeball. I thought that was clever and fun, and it put a fun twist on things. And the maps were pretty interesting for the most part. I would like to see more maps.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah. I do like it's kind of like a little bit of an intellectual game too with your opponents. Like you kind of have to outsmart them.
Yeah.
With the way that you throw the ball at them, like just throwing the ball at them regular speed sometimes doesn't work. So you kind of like have to play mind games with them, which I think is got to bait them. It's a little bit fun in that way too.
Gatekeep them, girl boss them, and
gaslight them. Everything.
Yeah.
Work.
Yeah. Loved it.
So that's Knockout City. Okay. The next one I have is Halo Infinite. For the PC and Xbox, it was released on December 8th, so it's very new, and it's rated 81 on Metacritic. The description is, when all hope is lost and humanity's fate hangs in the balance, the Master Chief is ready to confront the most ruthless foe he's ever faced. Begin anew and step inside the armor of humanity's greatest hero to experience an epic adventure and finally explore the scale of the Halo ring itself. I have not played any Halo game ever in any capacity. Including this one. But I know that I think, Jackie, you've played this one?
So I grew up playing all of the Halo games. The only Halo game that I have not played is Halo 5, and I have no regrets over that from what I've seen of gameplay. I have not played the Halo Infinite campaign, but I started playing the Halo Infinite multiplayer, which is free to play. I will say that the brief gameplay I've done so far of the multiplayer is a lot of fun. They've really introduced some modern features, which I really enjoy. But again, the UI for this entry it's not so great. It's not intuitive. I will applaud. They've done some cool accessibility design stuff, which we always love to see, and I'm always a huge proponent for.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
Pat, I don't think you didn't play this game, right? Or did you?
I didn't. No, I played Halo 1 through 3, and I like them. They're fun, but I did not play any other ones. Sorry.
No, whoops.
Oopsie.
Oopsie.
Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't play any of the Halo games.
Did you play the multiplayer for this?
No.
No, sorry.
We should play though. It's got some quick mechanics, and The gameplay is easy to pick up, and I think it will be probably even quicker to pick up if you're playing with like a friend or a teammate who has played a little bit.
Who has friends?
Not me.
Yeah, definitely not me. No. Diablo 2 Resurrected for the PC, PS4, Switch, and Xbox. I didn't know this game
Jackie
was on
gets up
Switch
and
yet.
leaves. Jackie gets up and she's like, I'm not talking about this. No.
What's that? I gotta go.
What is
Bye.
that?
Oh, what?
Oh my god. Released on September 23rd, and it's rated 81 on Metacritic. But I did want to point out that the user score, which the user score is like on a scale between 1 and 10, it looks like on Metacritic, it was a 3.8 from the users.
I'm not surprised.
Oh, go ahead, Pat.
I think. Well, Metacritic aggregates, or does it not aggregate from other sites?
I don't know how it creates its own score, but the user reviews like get left by their users.
Yeah, so I would suspect that you have to look at more than just Metacritic for an accurate user, what people actually thought about it, people who just play the game instead of professionally review it. But I will say that there definitely was, after release, a mixture of new players who saw the game as an old game and didn't vibe with it. There was also some review bombing, and there, of course, were genuine, people who just didn't like it. So, and you know what I say to all three of those groups?
Fuck you.
Suck it.
Suck it.
Okay, we were close.
Yeah, I didn't want to cuss. I cuss too much, I think. I think I need to.
Do you? I don't think so.
Okay, Dad.
What?
Anyway, Diablo 2 Resurrected. Let's get back to it.
Yeah, I will say that I did read through some of the user reviews to get a feel for why it was low. And it did look like within the first week of the launch of the game is when most of the negative ones came in. It looked like the game was basically review bombed because of all the server issues that were going on. Like, people were saying, oh, I can't even get into a game because there's no server, or like it's all buggy and stuff like that, or my games keep crashing. So it seemed like that, in the very first week or so with all those issues, a lot of users then review bombed the game.
Yeah, and if you just, because even when that was happening, I was like talking to John, I was like, people should just wait. Like, if you just give it a couple weeks, and then it worked completely, and then as more people went on, there were more server issues, but then they were completely transparent with why it was happening. And if you read the posts, it's because this is based on an older system. So, like, I don't know how all this shit works, but basically, it has to basically ping data back and forth between a server. But the way that it was running was based on old server information, because the old game is running underneath the updated graphics. So it was not able to handle the rate at which people kept making new games. So they had to do all this other mechanical nonsense, which I don't understand. And I asked John to explain it to me, and he said something, and I didn't understand it after that either. But they're completely transparent, and their reasoning seems sound, so, people can, eat my ass.
People can get over
Actually,
it.
No. Those people who review bomb Diablo 2, they're not even good enough to eat my ass. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
This ass is only for Diablo-loving mouths.
Okay. I will say that the review bombing behavior, I think, is not at all helpful. I think it's just kind of a way to literally just trash something before it can be given the chance to course correct or do whatever it needs to do to become more successful and remedy its problems. I think Diablo, as Pat said, took some pretty good steps to remediate the problems that they were having, and they were transparent with the users, which we always love to see. And I do think that there was a huge disconnect, as Pat touched on, between people who were expecting what was the difference? Not a remaster, but
like a remake versus a remaster.
Right, that was it. A remake versus a remaster, which is very different, and we love to see a remaster because it's really cool to now go in and see the same gameplay mechanics, but with graphics that help you have a different experience.
Oh my god!
And I did not grow up. I know, Pat, this is hard for you to hear. I liked Diablo 2 Resurrected. And I did not grow up playing the Diablo series games. But I do really enjoy the quote-unquote older game mechanics. I don't really think it's fair to call them that, but I enjoy those style of game mechanics, and it was challenging and fun.
Yeah.
And I like playing with my 2 fags.
Wow. Me.
Me.
Yeah.
I will say I also never played the original Diablo 2. But I did play Diablo 3, or some of it. I don't know if we ever got through all of it. I think we did.
No, we did. We beat it once, at least once.
Yeah, so I played Diablo 3. So I basically started the Diablo series with Diablo 3. So as someone who came in from that kind of perspective, then going into play Diablo 2 for me, I found it a bit wonky at first. But then once you get used to it, then you're like, okay, I understand how this works now. So I did very much enjoy the gameplay, even though I was somehow constantly out of mana, and I constantly needed mana potions.
Because mana potions are the main way of restoring mana. It's not about mana regeneration in that game, unless you're in end game, in which case your gear helps you restore mana.
I know. In Diablo 3, I felt like that wasn't as much of an issue.
It's never an issue in Diablo. You just pour out all your spells at once. It's like, fuck it, I'm all over the place.
And then Pat kept stealing my mana potions because I needed them. I was playing the sorceress.
I need them too because everyone in Diablo 2 uses mana.
It's true, even I've used them. Do you remember when I respec'd and I didn't put the 30 points into strength like I should have?
You couldn't
I'm level 40 something with a 25 strength. But only because I have a plus 10 to strength. Because of
yes.
I will say the only other kind of gripe that I had was when you start playing with a lot of people, it gets a bit overwhelming, and that's all I'll say about it.
Oh
yeah. But I think that's also true in Diablo 3.
Okay.
Because if you play with 4 people, I think, especially 4 or more in Diablo 3. No, 4 is the most? 4 or 5. It doesn't matter. Diablo 2, you can play with more than 4. But if you play with 4 people in Diablo 3, when people are just firing off their abilities and people got summonables like the Necromancer, it's always chaotic. So that's why I like you can play single, doubles, triples, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I feel like a good group is 2 to 4 maybe range is pretty good, I think, for Diablo 2.
Yeah, if it's go on, Jackie. Oh, no, Jackie. Oh, okay, quickly. Well, if it's 4 Necromancers, it's over. Don't play with 4 Necromancers.
Forget it. Yeah. 2 Necromancers into... Which
Druids.
One was Lightning?
Oh, the Lightning.
Yeah, oh my god, forget it. No, I was just going to say that I feel, for me personally, playing any game with more than 3 or 4 people to be overwhelming. And so that wasn't necessarily unique to Diablo 2 Resurrected to me, but some of those map designs, man, when you're going through the anal canals of that one guy. It's anal canals. Tight. It's
the maggot lair.
Yeah.
The arachnid lair, the maggot lair, spider cavern. They're not
designed for
groups.
Yeah.
No, it's designed for cramped single player gameplay. The usual.
And just real quick before we move on from Diablo 2, I will read the description for people who don't know what Diablo 2 is.
They don't know. They don't deserve to know at this point.
Okay, I'm still going to read it anyway. Diablo 2 Resurrected is a remastered version of the quintessential action RPG Diablo 2. Pursue the mysterious Dark Wanderer and fight the denizens of hell as you uncover the fate of the prime evils Diablo, Mephisto, and Baal. It features remastered graphics, monsters, heroes, items, spells, all resurrected. An epic story told through 5 distinct acts. Classic gameplay. The same Diablo 2 you know and love preserved.
Preserved.
It really is preserved.
It really is preserved. I was said perverted.
It really is perverted.
Too much hole opening.
Too much gaping hole for my taste.
Someone drop hole. Don't go through Matt's hole. Go through my hole.
Go through Matt's hole. Go through my hole.
Yeah.
No.
I will just say I'm saying a little prayer, a little wish upon a star, that they do remake Diablo 1. I don't want a remaster of Diablo 1 because I think it's too old of a game to get a remaster that would actually...
Far gone.
It's too far gone. If you kept the mechanics, it would look wonky. But there are some mechanics in that game that don't exist in any other Diablo game that are archaic, but functional. So it wouldn't be hard to use them. It's just archaic in terms of it's a lot of sort of old crafting sort of material or shit like that. But I think that a remake of it, with it looking you don't even have to do it to Diablo 4 graphics. You could do it to the Diablo 2 Resurrected style, because it fits that darker tone of the game. It would be really good if they remade it, and I hope they do because I want to play it again because there's no way to play. Like you can play the old one, but it's so difficult. It really is.
I think Blizzard's got to get its shit together before they,
Well, they got other shit going on. I know.
They have a lot of stuff going on.
All right. The last one I had on like the best games list, from Metacritic was Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword, the remake, which came out on July 16th, 2021, and rated 81 on Metacritic. Did either of you play the remake, or the original?
I played the original.
Either.
Okay.
I played. I never beat the original, and then I no longer have a Wii to play it. So then I have remaster. I bought it. I just didn't play it yet. But I played the original. It's basically like the predecessor of Breath of the Wild in that it is a large departure from the standard Legend of Zelda format. It has craftable items. It has like a weapon system. It has a somewhat non-linear story. Like you can do a little bit of wavering off the path. So it's kind of a proto Breath of the Wild. So I really liked it. It's also canonically the first Zelda game. So lit.
Amazing. Yeah, I didn't play either of them actually, and I usually play the Zelda games series, but I think at that point, I was just not buying as many Wii games or something like that, and I never picked up the game when it was out. So I never played either of them, but maybe I will. Maybe I'll pick up the remake for the Switch and play some of it. I always like me some Zelda games. I really do.
Do it, horror.
Now I'm gonna move on. I heard you call me a whore, but I'm gonna move on anyway.
Sure.
Okay.
Because I know that I'm a whore. I'm just gonna ignore you.
Adele song, right?
Hello?
Adele lyrics. Water under the bridge.
Oh, right. It's like
Adele,
like, what part of me being a whore is part of Adele lyrics?
let me down gently. Don't pretend that. Yeah. I got you.
Thanks, B.
I'm moving on from the best rated games, and now I'm just going to talk about other games that we have played that I believe that the people here have played. And we did a whole podcast episode on this one about Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I'll bring it up for the Switch.
I love that game, and I thought it was
phenomenal. Mom, I gotta go. I gotta get out. I don't belong here.
I think it's one of the best games of 2021, and that
who are you?
Really good job remaking it. No issues.
None. Anyway, yes, it was released on November 19th, 2021. It has a 74 on Metacritic by the actual critics.
What's the user score?
The user score was 5.5
out
of 10, I'm assuming. Yeah.
God's plan.
Which I found funny because in our episode where we reviewed this game, Pat gave it a 5 and I gave it a 6, so it was the exact average of our scores that we gave it.
God's plan.
The gays once again calling it.
The gays calling it God's plan.
Wow.
But yes, the description is the adventure through the Sinnoh region has been reborn. Experience the nostalgic story from the Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl games in an adventure reborn on the Nintendo Switch system. Jackie, you played Diamond and Pearl, right? The OGs?
Let me look up real quick the Pokemon.
They should have let it stay dead. Sometimes dead is better.
I think I did play this. I will say that oh yeah, I played this shit. Yeah. I didn't finish it. I think I had Chimchar as my.
Oh yeah, Chimmy.
Yeah, I didn't. But what I have heard about the game, and I'm sure I know you guys have talked about this, and this is an issue that's happening in a lot of game design right now, is that easy gameplay is not accessible gameplay, and that is conflated very often in game design, and I don't see it as a healthy trend for games, at least for good games and games that will age well and actually be significant to culture and storytelling.
Right, like making games easier, you mean?
Yeah, like it just, I don't see it as a great design choice, basically.
Yeah. I agree with you. Work.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I will say that for anyone who wants to play a Gen 4 game, don't play the remakes. Actually, go ahead and play the original Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. Specifically, play Platinum. Because I think that
Platinum
was the best.
I think Platinum is the epitome of what Gen 4 is at this point.
Yes, I agree. Do not play Brilliant Diamond and Shining
Do
Pearl.
not come.
Do not come. Do not come.
Wait, what is Pokemon? What is Platinum?
But there was a third game that they usually do triplets, like red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, crystal. So it's Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum was the last one in that era, which made no sense because Diamond and Pearl are more mineral-y, and Platinum is a metal, which I guess is also a mineral kind of a rock. It's all rock. It's all geology.
Listen. They didn't care about that. They were just like, they're all rocks. Let's go for it.
So, okay, the question: if I wanted to play this game now, like, is it expensive for me to buy it? Like, say I wanted to go and buy Pokemon.
I would just give you my Platinum and you can play it if you have a DS.
Oh,
no, I think
they do. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about BDSP, but
I was talking about like the originals.
Oh, I have spares. You could always just borrow one. Matt said you can give him one. Sure.
Yeah, I can give you my Platinum. You can play that.
All right, that'll work.
Phasma Phobia. Because we played this game a lot during the year, I
bland.
figured I'd give it a mention. It's still in early access, apparently. Like, this game is not actually out yet. Did you guys know that?
Yeah, I know it's still early access.
I think I did.
Because the 3 people that make this game are working hard at it, but it's only 3 people and they have lives.
Yeah.
They are working real hard. Okay, so Phasma Phobia is a 4-player online co-op psychological horror. Paranormal activity is on the rise, and it's up to you and your team to use all the ghost hunting equipment at your disposal in order to gather as much evidence as you can. I think we talked about this game in our last video game roundup as well.
I think we did.
But seeing as we have been consistently playing it throughout the year, I figured I'd bring it up again. Because honestly, this is the game that I don't think has gotten old yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We mentioned a couple games in our last video game roundup, which I'll bring up, that we said didn't seem to get old, but then they got old and we stopped
Among
playing
Us?
them. There it is. But also, I think what makes Phasmophobia really good in terms of like not keeping it not getting stale, and like the fact that people keep wanting to play it, is the fact that the devs keep updating the game like at a pretty nice rate. Like, it's not too quickly, but it's also not too long between each of the updates, and it just keeps you coming back to it. I mean, you're always like, oh, now cursed possessions are in the game. I gotta go find them all and figure out what's going on there, to see what the new updates are. I'm living for it. It's real fun. What do you guys think?
Jackie.
Well. I think it's a really bad game, and I don't.
Oh my god!
Any more of it in 2021?
Phasmophobia found dead.
I really enjoy the Phasmophobia game mechanics, and like I said before, I am not a horror game person, but I do enjoy running around and screaming with Matt and Pat here, and I really, like, to Matt's point, I think they are at a really good pace for releasing content. It's enough time for you to go in and play the new content, get used to the content, savor it, and not really get bored with it by the time that that's kind of wrapping up, or you're at a pretty good place. They're getting ready to release or teasing new content, and I think it's great. I really applaud the development team, because I don't think it's a studio yet, but the development
I don't
team,
think it is.
I think it's like 3 people. Go you guys. No knock there. So I think it's fantastic.
And Pat?
Yeah, I mean, for a while it was just the same stuff. It was like, like 5 or 6 maps, like 5 maps, maybe like 8 or 9 ghosts with some equipment. And then really the only thing that they would update is like, oh, we have like a large map coming out. And it's like, oh my god, the high school, the prison, the whatever the other one is.
The asylum.
Asylum. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, well, now there are actually a couple more ghosts. And you're like, oh, cool. And then quickly, it's like they're exponentially moving. It's like, well, okay, well, now there's like 3 new maps. It's like, okay, now there are 3 new ghosts. Okay, now there's like all the visuals are now updated for like the objects, and now there are cursed possessions, and now there are more ghosts. It's like the hard difficulty mode, the nightmare mode, or whatever.
Nightmare.
Like, which Honestly, we don't play enough, which I know why we don't play it, but we really should play it
Yeah,
more.
we should.
But yeah, like it's just like they're ramping up so much stuff now that's like a lot more content a lot faster. So I don't know if it's like them signaling like, okay, the game's like getting closer and closer to being finished, but I'm happy that there's always new content, and I'm happy to be a supporter. I hope, you know what I hope? I hope it like when they're maybe like gonna launch or like thinking about wrapping up, like they do like a Kickstarter for it or something, and you could be like
Hmm.
what do you call it? Like a
Vote.
funder,
I
a
would love to
funder
be a
of it.
vote.
Oh yeah, if they had like tiers of
Yeah.
things you could
Oh
do, like
God.
you could get.
I
I
do.
would definitely fund that game with some
Hmm.
modicum of money,
Yeah.
because I support it. Go indie games.
Go.
Go indie game.
It's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. Um, yeah, the game is just if you want to see us play this game where we run around and we get scared, come and check out our Twitch, which is What Do the Gamers Think? GAYMERS, twitch.tv/ what do the gamers think. And I know I've already plugged Jackie's stream, but Jackie's stream is Jackie_the_bananas, and they play with us as well. Double Twitch plug, here we go. Anyway,
I love to be double penetrated.
Well,
okay, all right.
okay.
Plug
Okay.
me.
Well,
Butt
yep.
plug. Anyway,
You've never used one. Don't even.
you don't know about my life.
I do know about that.
Okay. I'll show you mine when you come over next.
It's just gonna be Troy's dick.
Demonstrate? I mean, you'll demonstrate.
Hmm.
Maybe like a lunch and learn you'll have.
Oh, lunch and learn.
A
Show and
lunch.
tell. Show and tell.
Call me when you do it.
I'm gonna circle back to this later.
Given this,
The
yeah.
show and tell or Phasma?
But we're gonna move on. What's the next game on your list?
Okay, right. The next well, I wanted to briefly mention this because I just talked about Phasmo and how they've been releasing content and it doesn't get old. Last time, we had this roundup. We talked about Among Us, where we said that doesn't get old, and then it got old, and then we stopped playing it.
So old.
So I just wanted to briefly talk about like our feelings about why we think the game, well, from our perspective, kind of died. I think people still play it, but from our perspective, kind of died.
Yeah.
From my perspective, I think when we started streaming it a lot, and we were playing it, I think the game just ended up being flooded with children, honestly. And it kind of...
I wasn't gonna say it, but since you said
I
it,
was gonna
it's out.
say it.
Okay,
I
it's out
was
there. It's
so
out
gonna
there.
say it. It's the kids. It's 100% the goddamn kids.
Yeah, there's just so many of them, and not to be ageist or anything, but like they're kind of
But you'll
obnoxious a
power
little
through
bit.
it.
Like they're a little bit obnoxious in terms of how many that there are in the game, and like the immaturity in which they spread within the game is a little bit overwhelming.
I actually don't think it's ageist because I think ultimately what they're demonstrating is a totally different gameplay style and one that doesn't jive with our gameplay style.
Yeah, I don't know if immaturity is the right word because we're going in there with names like I don't know, like Biden lied and people died, like you know that
Hillary.
level of name, Hillary. Like
Yeah.
I don't think it's immature. I think it's what Jackie said. Like the play style is not as. I'm in it to play the game. Like I'll be sus and I'll throw
Stand on
the
the
suspicion
vent
off
and,
me.
yeah,
Yeah,
proceed.
but at the end of the day, I want the game to progress. Some of the kids just go in there. They'll go in if they like are the imposter, they'll leave because they don't want to be the imposter. Or if they know, they'll like just fucking shout it out because they are playing with someone in the same room and they're the. It's rough.
It's very rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that I don't think the gameplay mechanics were the downfall of that game. I think it could still be a lot of fun to play if it weren't for the overwhelming number of children, and it's a lot harder to kind of connect with a like-minded audience on that platform unless you are making friends outside of the game, like on Twitch and such. And because communication is such a core part of the game, it makes overcoming those differences in communication and gameplay really challenging. I will say that the last time I played the game, they had significantly overhauled the communication style to create some more like quick choose menu items so that you did not have to type in stuff. And I think that is a significant step forward and could potentially remedy some of the things happening. But I would be curious to take a look at the game again. But yeah. Oof,
Yeah, I think they
yes.
added like new roles and stuff. Like so now there's the imposter and the normal person, but then there's also like the other person that can go in the vents who's not the imposter. Like they added
Oh
different
yeah,
roles.
event cleaner. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I haven't been keeping up with the Among Us updates, so I don't really know what's going on there. But yeah, I would say yeah, I'd check it out again, but I don't know if I would.
Yeah. Yeah.
Word.
God's plan. Sea of Thieves is my next game on here. This is not a game that was released in this year. It was released March 20th, 2018. It's rated 67 on Metacritic, so not very well rated there by the critics themselves. And also it has a 4.9 user rating as well, so also not rated very well by the like actual users. And I read some of the reviews. The game apparently had a pretty bad launch in 2018, which, you know, we've seen bad launches with, you know, other Diablo 2, Cyberpunk, yeah, some pretty bad launches. So again, a lot of the bad reviews were people generally upset with like how much content there wasn't in the game, and how repetitive it got like very quickly within the game without much content. I'll say the description of the game so that people know what we're talking about. Be the pirate you want to be. With musket loaded and grog in hand, the freedom of the pirate life awaits. What will your legend be? An epic multiplayer adventure. Crew up and set sail on memorable voyages. Make and break your pirate's code on the Sea of Thieves. A treacherous shared world. Plot your course and set sail for hidden riches. Navigate the perils of a fantastical world and the danger of rival crews. So, how do you guys feel about this game so far, of what we've played? Because we've played it on stream. What do you guys think?
I did hear that when it launched, it was rough, but I'm happy that we came in like 3 years later, and it seems like there's a lot more content to go around.
Yeah.
Because you know you have just like the random missions, you have the plot of the story mode, so you can like pick and choose. Honestly, I think this game is like what you make of it. Like I don't think necessarily the content by itself is superb, but it's really what you do with it. Like I could see if you play this alone, it would be a very sad game. But if you have like friends play with and like you don't even have to worry. Like I don't know what we're doing when we go to islands half the time.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what we're doing.
We know
what matters
what
is what
You're
happened.
sitting in the bow of the ship playing your goddamn instrument, not helping.
You know what though? I play the instrument with a hook hand, and somehow I can hit all the chords. So I don't know what I'm doing up there, but it's way more challenging than what you're doing, steering a ship into a rock,
right.
Exploding the ship and sinking it.
I think that's a really good point. I think that the game is what you make of it, and like a lot of open world games, if you have friends to play, it makes it a lot more interesting. We have such chaotic energy.
We do. It's so chaotic when we play.
So chaotic. It's sometimes fun, and I really like it. I lost my train of thought. Yeah.
You know, we have fun. Of course we do. Definitely. We definitely have fun.
Actually, Matt and I just played recently. We did the one story mission. I forget which one it was.
A Pirate's Life. It was the first mission,
Pirate's Life. And that was a lot of fun. I thought that the puzzle features were really interesting and cool gameplay.
Yeah. I will say that I can understand where some of the reviews were coming from in terms of how repetitive it can be.
Yeah.
And that's if you just do like the missions where, you know, you just sail to an island and you find the treasure and you bring it back. Yeah. Like I can totally see some of that. But then you get some of the ones where it's like, oh, you got to dive down and you got to face like the boss battle.
Oh God, that like 20-minute thing we had to do. And I was like, is it ever going to end?
Yeah.
Will it ever end?
Will it ever end? Are we missing something? Yeah.
Yeah. So I do feel like there is additional content within the game that makes it fun as well. But yeah, I could totally see the repetitiveness of like sailing to islands, bringing back the treasure, kind of getting old pretty quickly.
I will say that coupled with some of the game's like structural hiccups in terms of menu and what bug did we have recently? Oh, we're like bringing shit back to the ship could be a little bit tedious. I could especially understand how that becomes
Yeah.
repetitive and really, really annoying. If you found a really good haul, but you're like playing by yourself, that makes it really essentially like cumbersome to play. And I think if the game could improve upon those things or work to resolve those issues, that the gameplay could be a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, work. I will say that the opening up the maps and going through the items, that is a little bit wonky.
Yeah, the menu system. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it was made for console and not PC players.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit wonky when you're playing on the PC. If you're not playing with a controller. Anywho, next game, this is kind of an honorable mention because I don't think we played it for that long, but Gtfo for the PC.
Yes.
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 So when we got this game, it actually wasn't released yet, but it did release recently on December 9th, 2021. It actually released, like, the full game.
Yeah.
It wasn't rated on Metacritic because I guess it hasn't been out long enough yet, but it had a 7.7 user score. So most users seem to have had a good time with it, I would say. Here's the description. Gtfo is a 4-player action horror cooperative first-person shooter for hardcore gamers looking for a real challenge. A real fight. Players get to play as a team of prisoners forced to explore and extract valuable artifacts from a vast underground complex that has been overrun by terrifying creatures. Gather weapons, tools, and resources to help you survive, and work to unearth the answers about your past and how to escape.
Yeah.
So we did play this game very briefly, I think, in the beginning of 2021. Me and Pat did. And I will say it was definitely challenging. And I think one of the gripes I had with the game is that if you don't have the full 4-person party, there's no way you're beating any levels. Like, it's just impossible.
Yeah. I mean, did we finish that one? Oh, wait, we had a 4th person? Wait, did we finish that first level with 3 or 4?
We did it with 4 because we had to team up with someone from a Discord server and say, hey, join our 3-man group. And then we finally made it.
And I really wished someone else from our friend group had gotten it just so we didn't have to worry about working with strangers.
Yeah, I kind of wish that as well. Jackie's like, no.
Nope.
You know what's funny, Jackie, though? It's not scary.
It isn't. It's actually not.
You guys play, and
It's really not. Like, I don't think I've ever been genuinely scared. It's more like you accidentally walk near an enemy and you just didn't see it, and you're like, oh, it's there, but it doesn't like immediately respond to you because you haven't triggered it. But then, of course, when you trigger enemies, they like scream. But if you're playing tactically, you trigger them knowingly, and you don't have to worry about,
Yeah, it's a very tactical game. Like, you have to sneak around, try not to trigger the enemies, and like if you do, then you're like, oh fuck, then you have to like group up and combat them. It's not scary. Okay. I will say it's not very scary.
Okay.
But it is technically difficult. Like, the game is like, because you have to time a lot of things, and even when you do have to fight them, like, you don't have a lot of ammo. Like, you have the mines or the jelly, you have to like set up very, very carefully, very precariously.
Yeah. It is a very tactical game, and it does get difficult. So when this game says it's for hardcore players, I could totally see that. Which is in contrast to what Jackie said before, where games are becoming too easy. This game, it became too hard.
It was just, oh no.
No.
What would you say is the most challenging aspect of the game, and how does it maybe stand apart from other games in terms of challenge?
I would say the most challenging aspect is the coordination you have to do to progress. Like, you can't run in and just fuck around. Like, and if you take damage, like, you can find health, but like, you have to be real careful with how much damage you take. Everything is coordinated. Like, the maps aren't actually very long. The levels aren't long. They just take forever because you are just moving at like 1 foot per hour. Like, making sure you don't fuck it up. Because if you fuck it up, it normally fucks up a lot, and then you have to restart or you just end up dying.
So there's very little forgiveness.
Oh,
there's no forgiveness at all.
No forgiveness.
Much like my father. No
forgiveness. Actually, if you are playing a level, which the levels can be long, if you're playing a level and you fuck up and you die, you restart the level. There's no saves in between. You restart the whole thing.
By not long levels, I just meant like it's not like a it's not. It's also not like super progress. It's not like every level like links up to each other or whatever. It's just like these individual levels, you know. So it's not like
Gotcha.
one long continuous thing.
Gotcha. So is it a big game? I guess you know it now because when you were playing it was not the full release, but is there much of a story or is it more about these one-off missions?
I don't know. We didn't
Well,
get very far.
yeah, when we played it, I think we fully completed one level, and it took us forever because it was that difficult.
Okay. Wow.
And then we tried a second level, and we did not do well on that one. When we were playing it, I don't think there was too much of a quote unquote story. But I don't know. Maybe the game's different now. Maybe they've updated it to where there is a story. I don't know. We bought it in early access, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My last honorable mention is Valheim for the PC. This game is still in early access, actually, so it has no ratings anywhere. But it is actually one of Steam's most top played games generally. Like, they have this metric, like concurrent players, in which they use to like rate games. Valheim apparently has a really high concurrent players all the time in terms of the Steam statistics. Here's the description. Welcome to Valheim. The Valkyries have ferried your soul to the 10th Norse world as a custodian, where you must adventure to the ends of the realm, from the deepest forest to the highest mountain peak, slaying beasts of myth and legend feared by Odin himself. You will craft powerful weapons, build unyielding castles, and sail long ships towards the horizon to prove yourself to the Allfather, and certainly die trying. So
Okay.
I did like this game. When we played it for like a couple weeks with some of our other friends, I did like it. It's kind of like Minecraft-y a little bit in terms of its open world kind of feel, and you have to, you know, build and craft, etc. But it kind of combines itself with kind of like a Legend of Zelda also kind of feel to it, where there's progression and, you know, bosses and things like that too, places to explore. So I did find that it kind of combines those two, and it gives a very unique experience ultimately. And it's fun, especially when you get multiple people playing on the same server. And it gets, you know, chaotic when you get overrun by enemies, etc. It was pretty fun. What do you think, Pat? Because you played it with me.
Yeah, I actually liked it. I mean, the comparison to Minecraft is pretty spot on with a lot of it. Except I think the combat is more involved. But I think I don't really, spoiler alert, I'm sorry you two, I don't really enjoy Minecraft.
We know. We've been
Why?
I
new.
don't really enjoy it. And
Why?
I can't put my finger on why, whether or not it's more of just, it's not a plot-based game, or maybe it's not, maybe it's the graphics of it. I don't know. But this game kind of alleviates both of those in that the graphics are slightly better. They're not the best. They don't look that great, but there also is a plot. There are bosses you have to fight, and you have to progress forward. And I don't know. I feel like when I build something in that game, it's way more rewarding than when I build something in Minecraft. Maybe because it just looks nicer. I don't know,
Hmm.
but I like that game a lot more. And it Jackie wasn't there, but with that moment when that giant troll showed up and ruined our village, I shit
Classic.
myself.
Classic.
I shit myself. I diarrhea shitted.
Wow.
Destroyed our house. Everything we worked so hard for.
Aw.
Flooded it, and it was so good. It was so fun.
It does
Yeah.
look really cool. I think that we will have to experiment with gameplay. I'm just looking at it on Steam now.
Oh yeah, Jackie, if
Do
you
it.
get Valheim, we would totally stream it with you. That would be a
Oh.
great time, I think.
Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Starting out is a little rough just because you legit have nothing. But once you
Yeah.
actually get, you know, just like clothes and food, it's actually, it didn't seem really that bad in terms of like, it was hard at certain points, but it wasn't like unbearable to play.
Yeah. I mean, there's some parts where you have to like grind a little bit, like, oh, I've got to hunt for pigs for like 30 minutes to get all the leather that I need to build my shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think ultimately it was pretty rewarding.
Yeah.
That's the end of my list. So, do you guys have any games that I haven't mentioned that you have played this year or that have come out this year that you want to mention?
Death's Door.
Okay, bring it to me.
Honey, Death's Door. I don't have the description, but I can tell you what it is. Death's Door. You are this little tiny crow.
Mm.
And basically, you like go like kind of like fairy souls. Like you go in and you're sort of like commissioned by this government body to go like get souls basically. And you fuck up a mission, and basically it's called Death's Door because there are all these doors that these little birds go through to get to different worlds and shit. And I think there's a rule that like if you enter a door for a mission, you have to go through that door afterwards with the soul, or you're fucked. So basically, that happens and you're fucked. And you for a little while get trapped in this other part of the world, and you get back, and then you are kind of tasked with getting that soul that you lost, but it has now ran like through what they call Death's Door, which is this huge door that you have to then open up by doing a bunch of missions. So I think that's the plot. Anyway, adorable art style, very like lived in world, very fully thought out, very fun characters. There's just a guy that has a pot for a head, like a pot, and he's got I think like a ladle as a weapon. And the character designs are great. The combat is very unforgiving in that you have to like time it's almost Souls like in that you have to time everything very carefully. You have to parry, but it's not as hard, thankfully, because then I wouldn't play it if it was like Dark Souls. But I haven't beaten it yet, but it's very fun. It's so quirky. I love birds. Everyone knows that, or at least most people do. So being able to play as Lieutenant Crow with a sword and a shield and like some magic, God's plan.
God's plan.
God's plan.
God's plan, my mom.
I was just looking at the art, and the art looks really incredible and unique for it, and I think I'll be checking that out.
It's so cute.
Ooh,
it's so cute.
Maybe I'll stream it.
Maybe I'll stream it.
Oh,
cute.
Did I play anything else this year? I don't think I did.
What about you, Jackie? Did you play anything else?
You know, I'm just trying to think back as well. I do have one game that's not really a fully committed plug, but I'm going to mention it anyway, and it's Ratchet and Clank: A Rift Apart. I have not played it yet, but I've watched my sibling play it, and it looks like so much fun. And it did. I got a lot of commendations at the Game Awards this year, and I grew up also playing the Ratchet and Clank series.
So did I. So did I.
Fan. Love Chef's Kiss for the Ratchet and Clank games. So I will say that while I haven't played it, I've heard good things about it, and I really look forward to playing a new entry to such a beloved series.
Pat looks like he was orgasming. That.
Yeah, you did.
I fucking love Ratchet and Clank. So here's the thing. I played 1 through 3. I played Deadlocked, and there was some other fucking one I forgot.
Yeah.
And then I fell off.
Yeah,
and then there was that whole new sort of like PS3, PS4 series they put out, and one of them was a remake of the first one. And then they did Rift Apart most recently. I need to get back into these games, mama, because I loved this, and I loved Jak and Daxter growing up. And we'll never get another Jak and Daxter game.
No,
but we'll definitely get some Ratchet and Clank, and I need to get that remake because I'd love to play the first one again, but I'd like to play the remake because that looks nicer. And then I'd love to get Rift Apart, and then I think there was one other one in between or like around that time that I also want to try. But yeah,
slay me.
Yeah,
slay.
I played
slay!
whatever. Slay! Oh God, I liked whatever Ratchet and Clank. I forget which one that was on the PS2. I think it was Ratchet and Clank 2. I don't remember exactly, but I played that one and I had lots of fun with it.
The first 3 were on the PS2.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure the first 3 were,
Oh, okay, okay.
I loved all of them.
Yes.
Yeah, I never had a PS past the PS2, so I never played any of the future Ratchet and Clank games. But I did have a lot of fun with whichever one I had on the PS2. So I will also shout out the game and say, yeah, let's get it.
Wow. Can we have a quick moment for just a moment of sadness that we will never get another Jak and Daxter game? Those games were love.
I
don't know what those games are.
I remember forcing my poor mother to watch me play Jak 2.
Oh, forget
it. And it was late at night, and she's like, what's going on?
No,
I'm like,
it's going. Where
I was like,
are we?
I don't know either, but it's so fun. And it was like this one part where I think you had to like drive around the city for a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
And I kept crashing, and you had to outrun the police or whoever was chasing you.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. And I was getting so frustrated. Mom was like, okay, anger issues.
Right.
But that, and then Jack 3 with the binary
angel,
powers of like the angel
yeah.
and the demon, or not demon, but like whatever the
light
evil
and
energy
dark
was.
show. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I can't believe Jackie and I had these two bonds, Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter, and we didn't even know about it.
I can't believe it.
The
Also, I love
podcast does
Birds.
wonders.
The podcast does this.
Too.
What about Banjo-Kazooie? Did anyone play that?
I did not. That's one that I feel like I really missed
You
out on.
fuckers.
Matt, you're being overruled right now.
Yeah, sorry.
Overruled
Overruled
in the court of law. Let's wrap it up there. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of the What Did the Gays Think podcast. If you don't follow us on Twitter, our Twitter is WDTGT Podcast. That's WDTGT Podcast. Jackie also has a Twitter, at @King_Jaqueen. That's JAKWEEN. I will put all of this in the description of the podcast and the description of the YouTube video, etc. I've already plugged our Twitches, so you know what? I'm just going to skip that part. And lastly, if you're on any platform, such as any podcast platform, you can go ahead and subscribe to the podcast to get notified when new podcast episodes comes out. That would be lovely. And if you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel in order to get notified when the new episodes come out. And also leave a like and a comment if you want. I love looking at the comments, except when they're mean comments.
Make sure it's really mean.
Ooh,
because I want to read the mean ones.
Degrade me.
I think we should spread positivity.
I spread two things.
Okay.
Positivity and my legs.
No.
That's my political campaign platform.
Is it now?
Oh, are you running for president?
I can provide you that I shall spread three things as a president of the United States.
I will spread three things.
Positivity, my legs, and herpes. I am Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
And I am Bernie Sanders. I spread herpes as well. Anyway.
Everyone has herpes, all right? Everyone has herpes. Everyone gets cold sores. Well, at least most people do. So you know what? I won't be shamed.
Right.
I won't be shamed.
I'm not shaming you. Bernie Sanders did. Anyway, thank you, everybody.
Bernie Sanders did.
I am Matt Klubeck.
And I'm spreading herpes.
And I'm Lady D's coconuts.
My coconuts. You can put them in
Great.
your mouth.
Bye, everybody.
My